Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time we have double unboxing of OPPO Reno14 series. Let's get started. As you can see, we have the lowest model of the series as well as the intermediate model. We are missing the Pro model, but perhaps in the future we will acquire it. The truth of the matter is that both of these models are part of this new OPPO series, which has been quite successful. Even though it is not typically very economical, it seems that people are quite satisfied with their experience. In fact, if you are a user of the Reno13 or earlier generations, please let me know your experience in the comments below. For now, let me go ahead and tell you about the prices. The basic model, which is the Reno14F, will have a launch price in Mexico of 9,999 pesos. On the screen, you can see the equivalent price in dollars. This price is for the version with 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, which is in fact the only version available. Now, when it comes to the OPPO Reno14, the price rises up to 14,999 pesos. It maintains the same RAM but offers a larger storage capacity of 512 GB. What if you take the time to get to know them gradually so you can determine if that price difference is truly justifiable for you? Or maybe the F model is just fine for your needs, or perhaps you might want to consider looking for another alternative? Let's uncover the phones to start. We're likely to find the same contents, so we'll open them together. Notice the traditional envelope with the cover and some quick info. Let's check the F model first. Here is the quick start guide, usual papers, and the case we'll examine. A feeling is quite rigid, especially on the back cover. However, it does have a slight flexibility on the sides. It's intriguing how they have designed it, and I find it quite appealing that they have chosen to integrate the case directly into the box. This means you won't need to purchase an additional case if you're looking for basic protection, which is a thoughtful and convenient feature. Now, regarding the OPPO Reno14, it will essentially be the same as before, with the same papers and the same case. So let's go over it and you can tell me how you would prefer to use these phones. Interestingly, besides these basic cases, the brand has also sent me some other cases to show you. Take note, they are quite psychedelic for my taste. However, if you wish to use a doggy case, that option is officially available as well. From my perspective, if I were OPPO, I would definitely avoid using this case. However, if it matches your personal taste, you should be aware that it is available as an extra accessory, obviously sold separately. There's also this other case, which features a significant relief that will likely make holding the phone a bit easier. Nonetheless, these cases are definitely not in line with my personal style, but I wanted to make sure you are aware of their existence. Now, let's go ahead and remove the cell phones from the box. We begin with the EF model, and as we take it out, we can directly meet it and appreciate its design. OPPO is typically very meticulous when it comes to the design and aesthetics of their devices, and this one certainly doesn't disappoint. It looks quite appealing. Notice how the color changes depending on the angle at which it catches the light. That's undoubtedly one of its most attractive features. So tell me, would you prefer to use it without the case or with the case? I believe the case doesn't entirely take away from the aesthetics, yet it does introduce these reflections that I'm not particularly fond of. Then I believe I would definitely make use of it. Certainly without any cover to maintain the beautiful satin appearance that it possesses. Now let's take a moment to thoroughly examine the Reno14 model in detail. Because we'll find a similar design here. Soon we will gradually explore their specifications to highlight the differences, but at first glance aesthetically, they appear quite similar, and once more I believe I would prefer to use this device without any case. Also, please let me know in the comments if you would choose to use them with this doggy case, because I certainly wouldn't be the type of person to do so, you see. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn on the devices. While they are powering up, let's take a moment to see what else is included in the box. I must emphasize, the box will be quite similar. And in the F model, we find a cable that goes from USB-A to USB-C. It doesn't provide a particularly modern experience in that regard. Here we also have the key for removing the SIM card tray and the charger, which in this instance is rated at 45 watts, utilizing OPPO Superbox technology. We will be testing it during the video review to determine just how quickly it can charge. In the OPPO Reno14, we are going to find exactly the same in terms of cable and tool for the SIM card. But apparently, it will be a more powerful charger. In fact, it feels a little heavier, and yes, we are talking about an 80 watts charger. Although we will have to put it to the test because they do not always get to take advantage of all its power, not even close to its maximum power, but, well, we'll see in the video review when we do the tests. At present, that is one of the noticeable differences between the two in terms of what's inside the box. The other elements will remain essentially identical. Now, I'll go ahead and put everything back in its place, and then we will concentrate specifically on the cell phones. I already have the devices right here ready, so let's take a moment to get to know them together, as they do share some similar features. Of course, besides the obvious difference in price, there will also be variations in the specification levels. For the more affordable option, we have a thickness of 7.7 millimeters and a weight of 180 grams. It's quite light and sufficiently thin. On the other hand, the OPPO Reno14 boasts a thickness of 7.3 millimeters, making it thinner, yet it is slightly heavier, weighing in at 187 grams. Possibly the difference is because in Reno14 we see aluminum frames that give you a much more premium feeling when holding the device, while in the F model we only have plastic frames, but the back cover in both models is made of glass. Both models have IP68 and also IP69, so they have all kinds of resistance against water. Both screens have a AMOLED technology with 120 Hz. In its refresh rate on Reno14, it comes with a diagonal of 659 inches, while on the F model, it comes with 157 inches. They look the same, but they are not. In fact, the resolution is also going to be different because we find Full HD. In the F model, Reno14 reaches 4K, offering more detail and a peak brightness of 1200 nits with HDR support. Reno14 screens meet expectations with higher quality. In both cases, there's stereo sound with a speaker at the bottom and another in the earpiece area for calls. Initially, the sound quality seems good with decent bass presence. Considering the price, the F model is more appealing as it's cheaper with similar quality. Let's explore the differences. Both front cameras feature an F aperture. However, the F model offers 32 megapixels with fixed focus, whereas the Reno14 boasts 50 megapixels with autofocus. Check out the preview. It seems the Reno14 performs slightly better as it allows some sky to appear after processing. Both devices capture great photos, yet it's evident that the Reno14 has a much better front-facing camera. Actually, with HDR display, when I was soldando so tecnology, you'll notice a significant increase in the realism of the images. Observe the texture of the clouds, they appear far more lifelike and realistic. This is because certain areas of the image will be brighter than others, creating a more dynamic and engaging experience with the Reno14. Now, if we consider the price difference, we can see a justification for it, as there are differences on the back end as well. Both models are equipped with a 50 megapixel main camera featuring an f1.8 aperture along with optical stabilization. Although despite having the same resolution, perhaps it can become a different sensor. They also share an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with f aperture 2.2 and fixed focus. The difference will be the third camera, which on the Reno14 is a 50 megapixel telephoto with f2.0 aperture, 3.5x optical zoom and optical stabilization. Honestly, I was blown away. Congratulations, OPPO, that's very nice. Regarding the F model, it will feature only a 2 megapixel macro camera with an f2.4 aperture. This is a significant downgrade. However, I believe that the increase in price is quite justified, as the Reno14 offers a much broader range for taking photos from afar. Now let's examine some examples. We'll begin by looking at the ultra-wide camera, and I must emphasize that it is quite similar across both models, with only minor differences in this aspect. You have wide shots available for both cases. Then we transition to the main camera, where I personally prefer the color rendition of the 14 reindeer much more. It seems like they might be using a different sensor even though the resolution is the same. The colors appear more natural and accurate on the Reno14. On the F model, they seem simpler. Now, take note that with the zoom set to 2x, we achieve good image quality on both models. Good detail again with the color difference. Now, consider that in Reno14, we have 5x optical zoom, so we have good detail. In the F model, for example, with 4x digital zoom, you already notice a little lower level of detail. See, for example, how it would look in 10x. I have digital zoom on both devices. However, because the Reno14 is equipped with a telephoto lens, you can observe a significantly higher level of detail in the images it captures. On the other hand, the F model falls noticeably short in terms of detail. Something that I liked is that in Reno14, you even have zoom by artificial intelligence that will optimize the details, and it looks brutal as long as there are no faces present. But curiously, it lets you get up to 120x of digital zoom, which obviously seems to me an exaggeration. Depending on the specific type of object you are capturing in a photo, it has the potential to provide you with very detailed results. This is due to the optimization it has achieved through artificial intelligence. Now, take a look. Here is what the result would be like without using artificial intelligence. As you can see, it already appears quite good. But now, observe how it looks when artificial intelligence is applied. The textures are significantly more defined, and so it is indeed a device that stands out remarkably well. When considering its camera, for example, compared to the iPhone, we will have a significantly better zoom and much more storage capacity. Additionally, it remains very light and thin, making it truly an attractive option. Regarding video recording, both models have the capability to record in 4K, which is a positive aspect. However, the Reno 14 can even record up to 60 frames per second in 4K, which definitely provides a high-end experience, and I find that quite appealing. It can record HDR video, which are details that bring a high-end experience, justifying the price difference. In the front camera, the F model can't record in 4K, but Reno 14 offers up to 4K at 60 FPS, providing a high-end camera experience. I really like that. The operating system will be ColorOS 15.1, which is based on Android 15. Therefore, we will essentially have a similar experience in this aspect. It's going to be an extremely stable operating system that functions efficiently and receives regular updates. Consequently, the experience will be excellent for both models. Both share the same battery capacity of 6,000 mAh. In the Reno 14, it can reach up to 80 watts of charging power, whereas in the F model, it decreases to 45 watts. Both have an integrated optical fingerprint reader, which functions effectively. Finally, we arrive at the performance section, where I think there will also be marked differences. Both integrate 12 GB of physical RAM, although you can also place virtual RAM that I do not recommend so much. And we see 256 GB of storage for the F model and jumps up to 512 in the Reno 14 model. Although as I have a unit for testing, here we only have 256 GB, but the version sold in Mexico is 512, and that is another of the attractive points. Lastly, the processor. In the F model, we have the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 processor, whereas in the Reno 14, it upgrades to the MediaTek Dimensity 8350. What does this mean for people who might not be so tech savvy? Well, in the F model, we find a slightly older processor that can provide adequate performance for a good number of users in daily applications and beyond. However, for those who are looking for more power, it might not be sufficient. For gaming or video editing, you'll find much more powerful processors within this price range. We'll do more tests in the review for you to see its performance, but it's not a very attractive processor. Here are the Geekbench results: 938 point single core, 2734 multi-core. In Antutu, it scored 833,450 points. It's not a bad processor, but at this price, you'll find other options. Much, significantly more powerful. In Reno 14, if we notice an improved processor, even though once again, if you are among the more demanding users within this price range, you will indeed find processors that are significantly more powerful. In Geekbench, the single core score was 1,314 points, and the multi-core score was nearly 4,000 points. I insist, this isn't bad. For most users, it offers a super smooth performance. OPPO typically optimizes RAM and the processor well, so the experience should be positive for its price. However, if you focus specifically on the processor or gaming experience, if you're a casual user, you'll find more appealing options. I assure you, it will provide a good experience. Interestingly, the 14 reindeer prevented me from completing the Antutu test. It freezes partway and doesn't finish. So I couldn't provide the benchmark for this app. Remember, this was just a first look. We'll have the full review soon. In detail, the tests and results of each model. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, let us know, and we'll see you next time.